Lesson 3.9, predicting the value of products. Now the directions here say to predict whether the product will be greater than, less than, or equal to the second factor. Then compute the product. All right, so first let's review some of the vocabulary in the directions, specifically factor and product. In the case of problem 1, 2/3 times 2 equals x. Well, 2/3 and 2 are factors. 2 is the second factor. We're being asked to predict whether the product of 2/3 times 2, or what I get when I multiply these two values together, is going to be greater than, equal to, or less than 2. Well, what am I doing to 2? I'm multiplying it by 2/3. Is 2/3 one whole? No, it's not. So whatever I get when I take 2/3 and multiply by 2, it's not going to be exactly equal to 2. So equals out. All right, what am I doing to 2? I'm multiplying it by 2/3. Is 2/3 greater than a whole or less than a whole? Well, it's less than a whole. Okay, so you're telling me that I'm multiplying something that's less than a whole by 2. Is my answer going to be less than 2 or greater than 2? Well, it's going to be less than 2. And in this case, the x is simply the variable used to represent the answer to this problem, the product, what I get when I actually compute 2/3 multiplied by 2, which we'll do in the next step. But my prediction is that whatever I'm going to get for this answer, it's going to be less than 2 because I'm taking 2 and multiplying it by 2/3, which is less than a whole. All right, let's prove that. 2/3 times 2 can be shown as 2/3 times 2 over 1. Multiply across the top. 2 times 2 is 4. Multiply across the bottom. And let's convert our answer 1 1/3, which sure enough matches the prediction. 1 1/3 is less than 2. Okay, number 2. 2 1/5 times 2. What am I doing to 2? I'm multiplying it by 2 1/5. Is 2 1/5 equal to 1 whole? No, it's not. Is it less than 1 whole? No, it's not. Is it greater than 1 whole? Yes, it is. So I'm taking something greater than a whole and multiplying it by 2. My answer is going to be greater than what I started with. The answer to this is going to be greater than 2, because I'm taking 2 and multiplying it by something greater than 1 whole. Let's prove this. 2 1/5 multiplied by 2 is equal to, let's convert 2 1/5 to an improper fraction. 5 at the bottom. 5 times 2 is 10, plus the 1 is 11. Rewrite 2 as itself over 1. Multiply across the top. Multiply across the bottom. And let's convert this into a mixed number. 5 goes into 22 4 times cleanly. Denominator remains of 5. Leftover amount, 22 minus 20 is 2. 4 2/5, and that matches our prediction. Number 3, 3/3 times 2. What am I doing to 2? I'm multiplying it by 3/3, which is 1 whole. So what do you predict? If I'm taking 1 and multiplying it by 2, am I going to get an answer that's equal to 2, greater than 2, or less than 2? Well, in this case, if you said equal to, I think you're right. Let's prove it. 3/3 times 2 over 1. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. And that gets simplified to whole number 2. Number 4. 4/4 times 7/9. What am I doing to 7/9? Multiplying it by 4/4. Is 4/4 greater than a whole, less than a whole, or equal to a whole? If you said equal, you would be correct. 1 whole times 7/9 equals 7/9. Number 5, 3/5 times 7/9. What am I doing to 7/9? I'm multiplying it by 3/5. Is 3/5 equal to a whole? No. Is 3/5 less than a whole? Yes, it is. So I'm taking something that's less than a whole, multiplying it by 7/9. My answer is going to be less than what I started with, less than 7/9. And notice how just like 1, 2, and 3, the second factor was 2. 4, 5, and 6, the second factor is 7/9. So keep coming back to the question, what am I doing to the second factor? In this case, I'm taking the second factor and multiplying it by something that is less than a whole. So my product will also be less than what I started with. Okay, let's prove this. 3/5 multiplied by 7/9. Do you see an opportunity to use cross-canceling? 3 goes into itself once, 3 goes into 9 3 times. 1 times 7, 7. 5 times 3 is 15. Get an answer of 7/15. Number 6, 1 2/5 times 7/9 equals x. What am I doing to 7/9? I'm multiplying it by 1 2/5. Is 1 2/5 equal to a whole? No. Is 1 2/5 greater than a whole? Yes, it is. So I'm multiplying 7/9 by something that's greater than a whole. My answer is going to be greater than what I started with. Let's prove this. 1 2/5 I'm going to convert to an improper fraction. That becomes 7/5 multiplied by 7/9. Any opportunity to use cross-canceling here? No. Multiply across the top. 7 times 7 is 49. 5 times 9 is 45. 45 goes into 49 one time cleanly with 4 left over. Moving down into the word problems here. There we go. Number 7, Kelly changed her phone plan. The new one allows 1 2/3 times as many free text as her previous plan. The previous plan allowed 30 free texts. Does the new plan allow more or fewer free texts than the old plan? Well, it says right here that the new plan allows 1 2/3 times as many free texts as her previous or old plan. So the new plan allows more. Now, how many free texts does the new plan allow? Well, the old plan allowed 30. So what's 1 2/3 times 30? That's what we're dealing with here. And let's work this out. First, I'm going to convert 1 2/3 to an improper fraction. I'm going to rewrite 30 as itself over 1. Do you see an opportunity to use cross-canceling? Yes, 3 and 30. 3 goes into itself once. 3 goes into 30 10 times. Multiply across the top. 5 times 10 is 50. 1 times 1 is 1. 50 texts for the new plan. Number 8, the new plan has a tower in her town that covers 4.5 miles. The old plan has a tower in her town that covers 5/9 the distance of the new plan. So does the new plan cover more miles or fewer than her previous plan? Well, we're given the coverage for the new plan, and we're told the old plan covers 5/9 the distance of the new plan. 5/9 is less than a whole. So the old plan covered fewer miles than the new plan. Therefore, the new plan covers more miles than the old plan. How many miles does the old plan cover? Well, 5/9 times 4.5. Let's convert 5/9, or sorry, let's convert 4.5 to an improper fraction. Do you see an opportunity to use cross canceling? 9 and 9. 9 goes into itself once. Multiply across the top. 5 times 1 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. Final answer, the old plan covers 2.5 miles.